Hello, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, hey, I should turn that volume down over here. So, how's everybody doing? As I fix my tech issue. Hello, everybody. We are Wildest Plus, the Bake Shop Irregulars. We're going to be playing some fantasy gaming here with our Powered by the Apocalypse fantasy hack that we've all kind of created together. So if you're familiar with Powered by the Apocalypse, then you'll be good to go. Otherwise, enjoy the ride. Basically, all we use are 2d6 as well. I'm not going to get into the rules. Everybody has a particular playbook from their character. We all have to use 2d6 to resolve most things. We do have percentile dice for what we call the word wall, which is if somebody has an idea or if we get stuck. Or if I get stuck, particularly, we will use that to generate some ideas. This is all hand-me-downs from our original playtest where we didn't have a game master. And you can find out that style of gaming more over on the podcast, mainly season 2, where Dr. Hip and I ran a game with no game master. Okay, let's get going here. Enough of me rambling. I'm going to kick it around. Let's do introductions really quick, and then let's get into game because we got a lot of stuff to do. So let's start with Dr. Hip.
Hey, I'm contestant number 1. Misha Van Dyne, who is a human druid. And if you're into long walks in the woods and sunsets with a glass of tea, I'm your gal.
Perfect. And Aaron, contestant number 2.
Hi, I'm Aaron, or Mal, or like a gajillion other names, depending on where you know me from. And I am playing Mirabella Rosehip Heartblossom, who does not like pina coladas nor taking walks in the rain. Her pronouns are she, her, and she's here for some chaos and a good time.
Perfect. Welcome aboard. Katie, go across the bottom row now.
Hello, I am Katie, or KZR Music, on the interwebs. I am playing Lumi, the Kenku Bard, who's currently here for vibes with a touch of confusion. She, her.
Contestant number 4, Courtney.
Hi, I am Courtney, or the Court Couch, and I am playing Phoebe Leander, who is the Furbolg librarian. She enjoys cozy nights curled up next to the fire, reading a good book.
Perfect.
Her
And
pronouns are super.
okay. And Kirsten.
Kirsten, or Vermidian, however you prefer to refer to me, or V. And I am playing Val and Laura, the half-orc rogue, and they enjoy long walks in moonlight.
Indeed. Or the lack of moonlight.
I mean, shadows everywhere.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian, also known as Nat Geek, and I am the game host for this game and also the host of the Natural Geekery podcast, which I invite all of you to go check out if you get the chance. I interview gamers like these fine folks, and we talk about gaming. And then we also have some special stuff on our Patreon where we have where you can hear the playtest for this very game. Hopefully next week or so, we're going to get some of those put up for the patrons there. Anyway, we have a special surprise this evening for episode 3. And I'm going to play that right now. Everybody, all players, your mics are still hot. So if you want to ooh and ah, that's fine. But just know that your mics are hot. And let's go. Okay. Woohoo! Big round of applause for Katie. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the good news is that is a living video. We will be adding to that. There will be more layers added. So we're looking forward to all of that. Awesome. Let's just jump in. Let's just go. Let's just jump in and go. After that intro, I'm pumped. Speaking of vibes. Okay, so a quick recap of the game so far.
Before you recap,
yes, please.
can I see that coming?
Sure. Yes. So no, good on you. I see that. I see that coming as a move that Katie's character has that allows her to, and I'm going to have to pull up your playbook, or you can tell me what it is. Allows her to sometime in the game be exactly where she needs to be at a proper moment, or somewhat therein. All right, roll it, and we'll see what happens.
I don't think today's gonna be the day.
Oh no!
So I roll plus wits, and I use your knowledge, experience, and your luck to be at the right place at the right time. So anything above 10, you hold 2 actions. 7. Oh wait, we're fine. 7 to 9 hold 1 action, 6 or less.
See, you're fine.
I rolled a 7.
Okay.
Plus wits. So that's an 8, so I can hold a single action.
Okay. So so basically you are. I saw that coming. Yes, so you can be at the right place. At some point during this evening, if you're like, no, I saw that coming and I want to be over there, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, you used that to such great effect last game. Kudos. So congratulations. And let's get going. Previously on Bake Shop Irregulars, last episode, after being led through a secret passageway out of Drachenfeld Library, Kilo Ornis, the dwarf sage you had gone to consult about the artifact you hold, took the players to the Inkstone Inn, or tavern, where he introduced Phoebe, a Furbolg librarian, who Kilo was hoping could assist the characters with their quest for knowledge. We'll leave it at that. While discussing their plans, the group was interrupted by a mysterious woman named Lyra and her entourage of darkly clothed and tattooed individuals. Ooh. Lyra introduced herself and claimed to know that the group had the scroll rods and offered to parlay a price for them. When Phoebe decided to use a little magic on Lyra, her tone changed slightly to amusement, and she told the characters they had 24 hours to make a decision. During the exchange, Phoebe noticed that Lyra had odd tattoos that resembled what could be markers of the ancient dragon cult, or just those weird tattoos that they get, in the travel shops and they don't really know what they say. We don't know yet. Lyra and her party left, and the group decided to leave for the Fang's Respite Library, as Phoebe had protected access to the building. There they hoped to decide and plan their next moves. Everyone, as a reminder, it is Comwin the 12th, the evening of Comwin the 12th. And as you decide to leave, a peal of thunder can be heard in the distance. Because as you may remember from episode 1, there was a storm on the way. So you are still at the Inkstone, I believe. I don't think you guys had gone to, I think we stopped there as you were about to leave. What would you like to do?
Well, if we would like to finish our drinks and then head over to the library, we can do that right now. Or if you need to run somewhere and grab anything.
How do you feel about walking in the rain? Because it's going to be wet very soon.
True, and then my fur gets all puffy after.
Let's go.
All right.
Make haste.
Make haste, everyone. So everyone follows Phoebe. Is that good? Yes. Okay, so you guys leave the Inkstone, and Phoebe leads the way back to the Fang's Respite. As you travel, the sky does flash quite often with lightning that appears to be lightning, and thunder can be heard. What folks are out are starting to look at the sky nervously and move a little faster, walk a little quicker. You can kind of get that smell of earth and rain, and you can tell that there's definitely a storm coming as you meander the streets. Oh, I see. Pause.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I love the storm.
And you can lead them over to the Fang's Respite with no issue. And you can tell by the way the wind picks up and the temperature drops, it is probably going to start storming in just a few moments, but you have arrived safely. Anybody want to do anything or anything before you go in? No?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Weren't we going to send somebody to the Surveyors Guild to see about some sort of transportation option so that we don't have any sort of problems? Or are we going to wait until it's less soggy out?
Since the Surveyors Guild is also a like a socially funded thing, would I have a way to contact them from the library? Probably not.
Probably not. No, that's fine. Probably not.
I might have a way to contact them, other druids. Or I could wild shape and fly over there later, if we need to.
Be an option.
Late night rendezvous with a certain other druid, maybe?
The when the moonlight calls.
I know the feeling.
I open up let's talk about this inside first, and I use the code to open the door.
Right.
To get everyone inside so we don't get drenched.
So what do you think that is? What does that look like? Is it a key? Is it an ornate key? Is it a
I think
magical
I said
pad?
it was a sigil before.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's like a sigil.
Yeah.
That I have to. That I know.
Right. That unlocks it.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. You guys can go in. I think Courtney helped me out. I think we've described the library before, but it's a smaller library, a little less funded like the big main branch. This is more of a social experiment to get knowledge to the folks out in the lesser areas of the city.
So
smaller.
The Fangs, a bit smaller. The Fangs Respite used to be a tavern that people and like lots of people who would come to Draken Falls for research purposes would stay at, because I feel like it was in a pretty good location, and these researchers would consistently forget books, and so the tavern would just keep them on a shelf, and they kind of accrued a small library of books about dragons and other various things about like flora and fauna from the area that people were researching. And when the social experiment kind of happened, and Phoebe took the opportunity to work in this area of town, at this point the tavern had kind of closed down, but so it was kind of taken by the county essentially, and it has in the last couple of months been refurbished into a library. So more shelves have been brought in. There is a bar that is technically the front desk that has shelves behind it. And there is a section that's kind of like what would have been a back room in the tavern. And that is where all of the dragon lore stays, and the original library of the Fang's Respite. And that's why it's called the Fang's Respite, because it was originally a tavern for people who were researching dragons. And so there is more stuff. There's fiction, some like nonfiction, botany books, and Phoebe herself has spent the effort to try and get books on things like masonry, different trades, different information that she feels will be helpful in this area. And there are some rooms upstairs. So there is kind of an apartment upstairs where Phoebe lives. and a couple of side rooms that just are either storage or haven't been converted into anything else. She'd like to convert one of the rooms into a kind of a restoration room for any of the books in case they need fixing. But yeah, it's fairly comfortable, and a couple of the rooms still have the old beds in them, so people can stay there tonight. And so yeah, so she opens it up, she turns on some of the lights, and she welcome everyone to the new library. We've only just opened recently, and we're still kind of getting our bearings, but yeah, we have everything here, and we can all make our way upstairs. I can put a kettle on, and we can have some tea while we wait to see and kind of figure out what we're going to do next.
Oh, heavens. Oh, wow.
She just invites everyone up the stairs.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Before we close the door, can I look out into the street to see if we were followed?
Yeah.
We're followed by Valen.
That's right.
Shadow.
That's right. That's right.
And if
Spoiler alert.
if Valen's the last
Fully
one
got
by
the cloak
door,
pulled up over the head for the rain, looking like the worst nightmare you could see coming.
and I'll say to Valen, did you see anybody following us?
I guess I should probably roll for that.
If you're going to roll, I'll help you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, or I can
Okay.
help you if you're looking. Either way.
No,
As just a quick explanation, that's lend a hand. So you'll roll lend a hand, and if you're successful, you can add +1 to the person that is making whatever move they are making,
Okay,
if it's
and-
applicable. So who's helping who?
Yeah, who's got a higher wit score? Because I've got +1 to wits.
same.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Would you prefer to lend a hand?
Yes, I will lend a hand.
Okay. Perfect.
7.
Oh, okay, cool. I believe that's good enough.
So I add +1.
Yeah. I don't. Add +1, and then we'll see how that. You're just going to help give extra eyes to the area as you move along. Is that the plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just scanning the area to see if there's anybody there.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can
And
do
that
that.
is a 10 total from me with the extra 1.
10 total.
Yay, I got 8.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So that means you can basically, I think it's, I'm rechecking the rules here. You may ask 2 questions.
Do we notice anyone who we should be concerned about?
You yeah. So yes, you do notice someone. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it the best way. With the lend a hand, you notice 2 figures, probably I would say maybe a block or so back, that are in dark clothing. They're walking together, and one of them appears to have oddly shaped legs. And we'll say that Misha can see fur on those legs. And they seem to be, well, they're not hurrying like the other people in the street are about the approaching storm. They're just walking behind you about a block and a half. And you notice them just as you were getting to the library.
Do you see that one maybe looks like a satyr? Their legs have fur. Could be a bear.
I see 'em.
A bear.
We do have another question if you have one, because I'm drawing a blank on what
You
I
have
got.
it. You have a second question.
Yes.
Hmm.
You don't have to use it.
Stick is important.
Nah, it's probably not important at all.
use?
I'm not sure what would be the best. Can we recognize who the other one is? Any other important details?
Is that the second question?
Might as well be.
You would guess that the other one. Well, actually, I'm just gonna. You got a 10. It appears to be. You got a decent look at them in the light of the inkstone lamps. I mean, the two people you see down the way sure do match the description of the human and the satyr that that came in briefly and then were dismissed back out by the taller, stronger individual. So yeah.
All right. Confirms my hunch.
Thunder.
Can you smell the ozone?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of those.
Ways to go, don't we? On our way. Back.
No. I think you guys noticed this probably 2/3 of the way towards the library. I'll let you guys have that.
Okay.
Before you get there.
Let's just make sure this door is secured behind us.
Because you are aware of them, you turn towards the Fang's Respite. Phoebe points towards it. You guys are walking over there. And you catch a glimpse of them in the flash of lightning, still about a block and a half back. And then you sort of turn a corner and head toward the Fang's Respite. You at the doorway, you don't see them. You don't see anyone standing out.
Casually mention, we have company.
Or just to have Valen like actively wave at them, just to freak out. It's right there.
Do you want to?
Good.
We're
Why
being
not?
followed.
Why not?
So how are you going to describe the wave?
It's just like as we're going around the corner, just
Okay. All right. Cool.
like you're not subtle, my guys.
They're probably after your baked goods.
And you guys go in at that point. Okay, so you guys are in the wonderful Fang's Respite Tavern converted into a library. The floor is yours. What would you like to do? Would you like to discuss something? Would you like to go ahead and just chill out and take a nap before the next day? It is up to you. What was that?
I'm starting pot of tea for anyone who wants it so that they can brush off any of the chill from the night before they possibly go to bed or anything like that. And I'm just trying to make everyone feel comfy and cozy.
Right. Okay.
Being a Jewish mom.
Okay. Another peal of thunder.
Mira's going to enact her tried and true thunderstorm protocol, which involves building a pillow fort.
Okay. Is that a move? Should that be a move on your playbook? Pillow fort?
Thunderstorm protocol?
Thunderstorm protocol.
Read a bad situation.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I think.
Okay, so
Mirabelle
Mirabelle.
Like a code word, like charm at this point, because we've got a couple of them. We've got bento,
Right.
And now there's thunderstorm protocol. Like we're slowly building like this lexicon of like secret.
You play to find out, right?
Right.
Okay. So thunderstorm protocol enact. I mean, you guys know that spring. Anybody that has been in Drachenfell long enough know that the spring thunderstorms here can be pretty intense as they come over the mountains. This one seems to be quite a light show. So Mira's building a pillow fort as part of thunderstorm protocol. All good. Phoebe's making tea. What's everybody else doing?
Lumi hasn't been probably here for a a full year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's been here for spring yet. So she's going to look out the window and ask anyone who's close to her. Will point, just like fascination. She doesn't look concerned at all. And after like a big boom, she'll say, "Dragon lore." And like cock her head.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
Turn her head in a 180 and say dragon lore.
Yeah, she's literally gonna say dragon lore and then like look questioningly because she can't frame it as a question because it wasn't said to her as a question. It was said to her as a statement. So she's saying dragon lore.
I think Valen is probably scoping out, especially the lower floor, just to make sure there aren't any more entry points that like anyone in this household should be concerned about, and would probably be in the vicinity and be like, "Oh yeah, we get some pretty big thunderstorms around here."
Yes. Thanks.
Courtney, does the Fangs Respite, does it have a back door? Does it have any sort of receiving doors? Does it have any other exits that Valen could investigate and be worried about?
Oh, yes. Phoebe looks over at Valen and is like, "There's a door in the old kitchen area. You probably want to look at that. It's usually locked, but just in case you want to." And I point direction. Because I feel like it would be near where I'm making the tea.
Does it also lock with a sigil like the front door, or is it just?
Yes, I had that installed.
Okay. And then Valen is gonna go check that out then.
Okay. It looks to be probably slightly less quality door than the front door, but still pretty good. And if it has a sigil lock on it, it should be pretty solid. Windows are probably pretty standard tavern windows. I don't imagine too much has changed there. Probably also either, I wonder how they're shut. Are they like sealed shut? Or I probably want to have them open at times.
See them being like push out and push in and close, but since spring storms would be as common as they are, there would be they would be built to withstand this kind of situation. So I imagine the glass is like the magical equivalent of tempered glass.
Nice. Okay.
Like built for hurricanes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Can I just go around and make sure all those windows are latched up nice and tight?
Absolutely. You're doing that. Anybody else? Misha, you doing anything particular?
Any plants in the library?
Are there?
I'm looking.
Oh, plants?
I'm looking.
I imagine up at the front there's a couple of very not hard to keep alive plants.
I would check under P for plant or G for gardening, maybe. Or
imagine there's a
H for horticulture.
The
F for farming.
Of a spider plant that's hanging at the front that Phoebe is desperately trying to keep alive. May look a little yellow. The best gardener.
I'm just going to hum to it a little, and it starts looking better.
Aww.
Thank you.
Nice. You're doing a little bit of minor magicking there. You're going to do a little plant healing. Okay.
Druid craft.
I think that's more than fine. We're not going to roll for that.
Roll to save the dying plant in the library.
Roll to play. We're not at that level of simulation, guys. We're just not there.
To fertilize.
Roll to fertilize. That's a different game.
Roll to photosynthesize.
Okay. All right. So let's speed this up a little bit. Give me an idea of what everybody's plans are for the evening. We don't need to go blow by blow what you guys are doing every single moment. The storm is going to roll in and create quite a loud noise and mess outside, but you guys are going to be nice and secure here. Fang's Respite has seen more than its fair share of spring storms. Nothing's going to foreseeably go wrong as it slams into the city. But what is it? What's everybody's plans?
How long do spring storms usually last?
They can last up to an hour.
Okay,
Generally,
so
they're
this is
about.
going to be gone by tomorrow. So Mira is
Oh,
not
yeah.
sitting in her pillow fort, hyperventilating that her plan is absolutely shot. She can still throw her block party tomorrow.
Possibly, yeah. This will be over well before dawn. It might be rainy tomorrow, but the storm will be gone. If only you had a druid to check the weather.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I think Mira is going to make the rounds and see if anybody has the spoons for discussing how we're going to get out of this shenanigans.
Okay.
We have been unintentionally wrapped into this, so she would like to hear how it ends. But since she doesn't know the full capacity of she knows the rods and everything, but not the full capacity. So she is more of ready and willing, will be a part of the conversation, but we'll let is going with what they're saying, if that makes sense. She is just here for help. She will definitely engage in that conversation.
Mm-hmm. I will be passing out tea and also engaging.
Okay. So
Phoebe, I have a question for Phoebe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're fine.
Does the old tavern have a safe? Is there a safe place we can put this artifact than my quiver?
Well, I don't know about an actual safe, but she kind of walks over behind the bar and she starts tapping her feet on the floor, her heel on the floor, as if listening for something. And then she hears the hollow sound that she was looking for, and she pulls up one of the boards. She's like, it's not necessarily a safe, but I imagine this was where some ill-gotten goods were kept at one point.
Does anyone have an objection if we store the artifact here for the time being? Everybody okay?
Sleep on top of it. It'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm going to move away from the windows, out of sight, take the artifact out of the quiver, place it into this hidden floorboard, and stash it there.
Mira starts relocating the pillow fort over the hidden floorboard so that we all sleep there.
Oh, nice. As you put the final floorboard in the floor, there's a thunder peal and lightning flash that shakes the whole area.
Never quite get used to those, do you?
You make the pillow fort there. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to role play this conversation, or you just want to kind of come to an understanding of what you guys plan to do in the morning, or how would you like to proceed?
Maybe whatever the OG3 trio started with this mess would like to do. I am down to oblige.
I know Phoebe is desperately curious about how those rods came into your possession. So if that's something we want to do off screen.
Yeah, if you want to for speed, if we want to just
overview,
if you guys want to talk through what you guys want to do tomorrow, we can.
Yeah, I think Mira would check in with Valen and Misha and make sure that they're okay with the beans getting spilt. And then, if that answer is yes, Mira would tell the story of slightly more in depth than she did for the good doctor.
Right. So now, Courtney, do you know that out of game? Do you know the situation?
Oh, what? I haven't watched the first episode.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Okay. So there we were hanging out in the middle of the Rotten Goose. We were just kind of chilling with each other, and I had made bento because I had been bored that afternoon, and Misha said she was feeling snackish, and our friend Brox, who you'll meet Brox later, but Brox secretly loves when you make carrots into little flowers. It's the only way I can get her to reliably eat vegetables, which she absolutely needs, because otherwise her big old strong muscles are just gonna go from wheat to meat, and then she'll be sad, and sad dwarfs are never a great thing. But anyway, so we were sitting around eating bento, and then all of a sudden this kerfuffle broke out, and there were a bunch of guys sitting like over here, like the kerfuffle was over here, and then there were guys over here, and they were like, "Oh, a kerfuffle, let's get in on it." And like they got up, and Valen was like, "Hey, their bag was unattended," so Valen went and attended their bag, and then like somebody knocked over my bento, and I got really upset about it, and then the whole fight kind of stopped, and everybody left before they got in trouble. And Valen was still attending their bag because those other guys never kind of came back for it. And then we looked and we were like, oh man, there's stuff in here. We should go figure out what this is and see if we can figure out how to get it back to people. But the more we tried to figure it out, the more bad people tried to come after us. And it just like, and now here we are.
Oh no.
Right?
That's frustrating. This isn't even your fault. This shouldn't even be your problem.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
This is why you're not supposed to leave bags unattended in places.
If you see something, say something.
Or don't.
Thanks, Valen. I like to think that they're all in the pillow fort at this point, and Valen has like completely like tunneled under like a pile of like blankets. So like that like little or don't just came out from underneath like a big fluffy comforter.
Or
We're all
don't.
just like there's a
with a
teapot
small
with a big
cup of
tea
tea.
cozy on it.
Amazing.
I can't even
Amazing.
imagine what you've been through in just the last 24 hours. Oh, were you with the goose when everything happened?
Yeah, sort of.
Oh,
Kind.
that's the worst.
Yes.
That must have been such a struggle. I'm so sorry you went through that.
It definitely was a struggle. Yes.
People are trying to kill us thing.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
She
That
points
was-
to Mira.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that voice sounds suspiciously like Mira.
So we found out that the people who are like coming after it are like apparently like the henchmen of Councilman Knott, which is why I was asking questions about him. Cause get this, he sent his thugs in livery to rough us up. Like they were wearing his household colors. Like it's his guard uniform. Like are you? I understand like a show of strength. Right, like I understand like a show of strength or like a little bit of a like the might of the government, but like that feels a little gauche.
No, it is gauche. It's completely rude. If you're going to send people to rough another person up, at least have them dressed in dark drab clothing that can't be traced.
Right, like I think we rate at least cryptic note signed with a couple of initials, like if not like message in someone else's blood on the wall. Like I mean, they did leave us a message on the wall, but it wasn't in blood. But anyway, but still, they were still wearing their like work outfits. It was like getting beat up by a McDougal's worker on his way home after making burgers. Like,
Sorry.
it's
He's
just a
always been
mystery.
the worst.
Right, the absolute worst.
Not to light
My
this on
parents
fire,
used to go
but
to meetings and like little functions at his house and teas and whatnot. Oh my gosh, his entire house, garish, tacky, horrifying.
what if that actually wasn't Councilman Nout's thugs? Maybe if they were wearing Councilman Nout's thug clothing to make us think they were.
True. And
'Cause we
honestly, would think much of it because he is the type of man who would do that.
Well, like we recognized in the kerfuffle at the Goose, the struggle, as my new friend Phoebe so delicately put it, we recognize the dwarf who definitely works for them. Like Gristle is Councilman
right.
Knott's man.
I mean, his haircut looks great though. Just a little trim.
He's so
Oh,
mad.
I forgot about that. You're
You
right.
got a haircut?
So he tried to duck out the back door, after causing trouble at the Rotten Goose, and I very artfully shot the bottom of his beard off.
You did it.
Yeah, he had a lot of gemstones in his beard, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna donate those to the Rotten Goose. The guards didn't say anything about it, so.
That's delightful. How have I never met any of you before? You're wonderful.
I'm kind of a night owl.
I can be that way too when I get into a good book. It just hits better at a little after midnight, you know?
My last
Alrighty,
book
have
was
you
a really
big
bad
readers?
journal.
Yes.
Well, if this all goes well and we're all alive by the end of it, feel free to come back for a book anytime.
Thank
What
you.
do you charge?
That would be excellent.
Oh, yes. The charge of knowledge, as I like to call it.
What does that mean?
What?
You said
What
it's my church. So it's the library is the church of knowledge.
Oh, no, I asked what do you charge?
Oh, the books are free. It's a borrowing system. You take the book and I write down that you have it, and within a certain span of time you should return it after you've read it.
What happens
And then
if people don't return it?
well, then you are listed, and there is a small fee, just because it's an honor system that you should get the book back within about 3 weeks. And if you don't, then you start accruing fees, and you can't take out any more books until you pay the fees off. But that's because ultimately you're withholding knowledge from someone else who might want it. And any fees that are accrued from people who don't return the books on time, that immediately goes into the betterment of the tavern. Well, the library.
Oh,
What was that?
Oh, I said, is that how libraries work?
That is how libraries work.
Good to
Though
know.
some can be a bit more turn up the nose than others. That's why I wanted to start this one. It's an all-persons library. And I want to get more knowledge out here so that people can better themselves. Knowledge is one of the 4 things. Knowledge can give you the foothold into privilege. So I
Well,
just
if you ever need help tracking down library fees, just let me know.
Well, I will hit you up about that. That would be glorious. Because then, ultimately, I can have someone reach out maybe a few days before the 3 weeks is up to be like, hey, don't forget to return your library book. 'Cause sometimes, you read the book and it's good and you're running errands and you forget to stop by. It can be a whole thing.
Well, after we talked to Master Ornis, I'm feeling a whole lot of privilege from the knowledge we gained about this particular artifact.
Yes. What is it exactly? He didn't mention. Neither did you, to be quite frank.
Dragon lore.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense. Do you mind if I squirrel away one of the pillows and do you mind if I take a look at it?
Go for it.
Oh, go ahead.
Pop it out and pull it, and I look at it, and I just kind of in terms of craftsmanship, do I recognize that it's well made?
yes. But plainly made, but well made. There are 2, so on each scroll rod, on either end of the rod, there is a crafted, carved dragon head. The rods are probably only about, I think we said about that long. The head's on them in maybe 2 or 3 inches long. And it appears to be a pretty 2 simple scroll rods. Yeah.
Read my way through the scroll, and I.
There is no scroll. There
just
just
a
it is
So
just the
there is-
rods.
There is a scroll.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Scroll.
I'm sorry. There is a scroll. That's right. There is a piece
And
of
it's written
parchment.
in ancient Draconic, and it's
So, okay, hold on. I thought that was removed. Did you guys remove that, or
You told us that we shouldn't.
We couldn't without damaging it.
That's right. Okay.
Something explode half the city. Something.
That's right. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought you guys had taken. Anyway, I slept since then. I apologize. So yes, there's ancient Draconic on the scroll as it unfurls, and it unfurls for a pretty long way, probably
Hi.
4 feet, 3 feet.
I assume ancient Draconic is maybe one of the languages I know.
I would let you. I believe. Is there a bard move? There is. I thought there was a bard move for researching, or a sage thing we put in there. Lore of the studied.
Or the study.
And so the particular expertise, and I think, what did you take for that?
I took I ended up taking what were those things? Where is that thing? Sorry, I'm just like
You're fine.
took knowledge and communication. I'm a
Okay.
communications major.
Right.
Excellent choices.
Right. Very good. So if you
Your
want,
librarian would know those things.
if you want to make a know something roll, I believe that, and I am going to give you a +1 on this roll just because of your previous kind of focus.
And a 1, and 2, and a boom. Oh, so that +2 of my wits plus the extra +1, that's 11.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you can read chunks of it. It appears to be part of a ceremony. That ceremony, almost a religious style ceremony. Like not a formal government ceremony, but like there's definitely some religious terms here, and some religious worshiping vibes going on. And then it mentions a culmination of the triad, and that the end of the ceremony will bring the winged boon. That's about what you can make out.
Did we hear what the other things were needed? The other two things. Make the horde of
Told us
gargants.
in his office. I believe.
Yes. Do you guys remember that, or I can go over it again?
Was
It
it
was
a
the
cup?
cup of command and
Okay.
a crown.
Okay.
Correct.
Now that it's like close to Lumi, based off of like her backstory and the wealth she's witnessed, does she, looking at that, does that look like anything she's seen before?
Ooh. Well, you mean like a cup
even
or a
if it's like
crown, or
yeah, a cup crown, or if it's any similar make to anything she may have seen before, or can she just look at it and be like, yeah, that looks like that could live in one of those museums she's been to?
Yeah, it looks, I mean, given how old it is, it's so basically made, it looks like it could just be a normal scroll rod. It's like,
Man,
it's just very plain.
cool.
Yeah. You can't really mark it as anything as anything else or similar to anything else because it almost looks common. Except for the dragon heads on either side, but in a lot of areas of the city, especially this time of year, you're going to see a lot of dragon stuff anyway. So it definitely does blend in.
Tourism is about to start.
Yeah.
You know something that could be really interesting to do? I say as I hold it, and then as I look at the dragon heads, and I take, and I hand it back to Mirabella. I hold this for a second. I run and I go and grab one of the several extra pieces of paper and a charcoal. I start to kind of like draw it a little bit, and like write down the specifications.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it made out of again? Is it made out of wood, stone?
It's wood.
Wood?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And can she recognize if it's like cherry, maple?
It's
like
a pretty basic dark wood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I look over at Mirabelle and I'm like, you know something that could be a really interesting thing to do? We could reach out to one of the local woodworkers. Since it's pretty simple, maybe we could make some backups. And have those, hide them in a few different places, and then they don't necessarily know which one they're looking for. Or these have an aura of sorts.
We're not 100% sure on that because we made some decoys when we went to the doc's office, but we didn't have. But they said they followed us. So, but like, I just had the really unfortunate thought that they probably have another one of the relics. Because wasn't that a conditional for being able to track this magically?
I don't think we had any other conditions other than the actual scroll itself can be tracked. The rods can't. But because the scroll is still on the rods.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Well, it was a good plan in a book I read once.
It's a great idea.
Great plan.
This artifact is a pain.
And as she looks at it, it's like, and the thought process is that if you get this and its other accompanying artifacts, you can control dragon.
Yep.
I don't like that at all.
Nope.
Not even for the fact that just the ramifications are terrible. I mean, dragons are sentient beings, so it seems cruel. I know that we have our issues with them, but still. And again, the ramifications. What could someone do with an army of dragons? Or even just one ancient dragon?
So
Well, I mean, like, you could start, like, a baseball team, or maybe play shuffleboard, or, like, you could paint all their toenails, or you could have a parade, or... Like, the list is infinite.
The list is infinite, but unfortunately, I imagine the person who would be willing to do all of the work to take on a dragon would have slightly more nefarious ideas. Especially if it's not.
And see, that's the problem with modern villains. None of them have any imagination.
Exactly. That's why the villains are so much better in books.
Right?
It's like you can actually understand their motivations so much better, and they're more human. Well, in a sense, some of them are actually orcs or falcons or, other such some such creatures. But then, they have humanity, which again is slightly awkward that we take our idea of empathy and whatnot from only humans, apparently. So I've met some really terrible humans. No offense, she says to Misha.
So, Courtney, you would know, being kind of focused on dragon lore, that some dragons, they're not just beasts. Some dragons can communicate. Some dragons are intelligent. The large black dragon that flew over the city previously, named Skokel, there's some legends on that one, and that he is actually intelligent and is sort of a force to be reckoned with of his own. Definitely most dragons that come to this area are pretty much standoffish. They want to come here, do their thing, and they don't really want to mess with folks. Right. Do their thing, right? But they don't go out of their way to come fly by the city and burn it down, right? Like, they're still very much kind of on their own. But it's definitely the older ones that can become a force of their own as far as intelligence and motives and having an agenda. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not just wild beasts, so to speak. Okay. Just to be sure.
I was kind of working off like the D&D idea of dragons that they got their own things going. Some
Exactly.
of them maybe more, more intelligent than others. Some of them are schemers. Some of them are just trying to live.
Right. And usually the older they are, the more of their own agenda they might have. Okay. So, anything else before morning?
I would like to discuss which groups we are inviting
Okay.
to this shenanigan.
Yes. What is the plan? Is what
Yeah, 'cause we've been dancing around that a little bit.
because we haven't made the plan, and I would love to do that so we can.
So we
Right.
need Councilman
The
now.
plan.
We need the Drakenfeld Surveyors Guild. I think we were going to invite. I was thinking the Thieves Guild might not be a bad somebody who's not Carson out. We definitely want public people around for sure.
I have some people that come in on occasion that I can ask to go down the sending tree, as it were, to kind of.
Lyra's going to show up whether we want her to or not, too. Is it
Lily
Lyra
shows
or
her
Lyra?
instruments and says, "I can play.
Thank you, Amy.
They come when I play."
Ooh, that's a good
And
idea.
where specifically are we going to? Are we going to do this side of the Rotten Goose in the city center? Well, not the city center, but this area's like kind of center.
So, I think the setting will be easy enough, right? Like, we go and we talk to one of Councilman Naut's outposts or whatever, his soup kitchen-y places, and we say, hey, we want to set up, a relief effort for the goose. And usually they're just like, oh, great, here, that's a whole bunch of people we don't have to serve, take some supplies, right? So, we have the stage set. Like, what are we gonna do with it? Like, are we trying to get the Thieves Guild to take out Lyra? Because I'm pretty sure they either don't know that she's on their turf trying to shake people down, or they're okay with it. But I'd bet on the former.
She doesn't seem like their type of recruit.
Right? Like, the Thieves Guild comes...
Carson out, so...
Like, the Thieves Guild comes, like, by their grime honestly. Like, they work on that layer of muck that's honestly cultivated. And, like, I don't know, man. I feel like...
We like to come by our muck honestly.
Yeah, and not, like, in a
way.
Yeah. So what's our... What can we see? What possibilities do we have? What are we looking for? And what's our outcome?
So are you just going to tell Lyra and crew that we're going to work a trade, but they have to do the trade at this event? Is that the bait?
Sort of. They're going to probably try to force our hand and, like, collect on a time of their like a time and place of their choosing. So if we're just always at this relief effort, then they're going to have to come to us so we can kind of have that upper hand. That was the thought there.
Yeah, that's really smart.
What if they just wait it out and then wait till the people leave?
The people live there.
I'm not trying to be devil's advocate, but I'm just trying to think what will happen if this doesn't work.
So then we
They're
can
gonna come
do
for us.
something in there to prevent that from being a thing. Like, are we trying? Like, what are we gonna do with these things?
Well, I think if we could find some way from the Drachenfeld Surveyors Guild to transport them safely and concealed, that would help. Or Master Ornus also said he might know someone who had a safe place to keep them. Correct?
You want it? Yes? No? And she's looking at
Yeah.
the three of you.
I'm just kind of like thinking long term. Like, why? I understand that we want to keep it away from Councilman now, but like, are we gonna gather the 3 pieces and summon a dragon army? Like, I'm not opposed to it. I just want to know what we're going for here. Like, what's our end game?
I don't want to have to feed a dragon. That's not my kind
Well,
of pet.
if you can control a dragon, you can be like, hey, you need to go down to McDougal's. I ordered you 47 Big Morks, and just bring the rest home for us. Like, you can do that when you command another being. And they won't be like, oh man, I went last time, because you got the Rod of Control, and they'll just go do it.
I thought our end game was more
Checks out.
to keep it from falling into hands of someone who might use this to hurt the people or, for bad end. But I'm not sure if we really have the strength to do that on our own.
That's a good point.
So we're talking about pitting our enemies together, but who are our allies?
Note: is there a community board for flyers and things like that in the library?
Oh,
I would think so.
Yeah. It's the old board for adventurers.
The old
Is-
quest board.
Yield
one
quest
of-
board.
Yeah. Is one of the flyers there from the city guard saying, "Hey, we'll take your dragon artifacts, no questions asked"?
Yes. I think yes. I think
Alan is
that
gonna
tracks.
Go
That
grab
tracks.
that down and put that in the middle of this little hangout circle.
Oh, that's an option.
Yes.
All right, out of game, full disclosure.
Shameless self-promotion.
I'm gonna be a little reserved, probably a little more reserved than Mirabella would be in the ensuing discussion, because I feel like this is a conflict of characters. Because for everybody at home who might be watching who doesn't already know, the person who is responsible for those flyers is my character in our other game. So, just gonna recuse myself a little bit for conflict of interest here.
All right.
Well, this belongs somewhere where it can be studied, learned about. If we hand it over to the city guard, it belongs in a museum. Somebody
Studied by top men.
exactly. What if we hand it over to these top men? What will happen to it?
What's to prevent them from using it?
Exactly.
We can't
How do we
trust
know we
any of
can
these
trust?
people. I would love to destroy it, but apparently you can't just destroy them. So
The city guard being coordinated enough to use 3 artifacts, put them together. Like, they
That's
couldn't
why I
put together
said the
goose
city
and
guard.
cookies.
Well, what if it gets stolen from the city archives? I mean, a fat chance something like that could happen, but
no, it's not that bad.
Well, actually, the city archives is massively underfunded.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, so it sounds
It's
like the
maybe
only
a-
way that we have to permanently ensure that this is not going to get in anybody else's hands is to just straight up destroy it. Which raises the question of, how are we going to keep the ensuing release of energy from just being an uncontrolled explosion and consuming everything. And I'm not a good enough mage to be able to do all of that magical funneling into fueling another spell nonsense. That's not my realm of expertise, but I know it's possible. So that puts that job is going and finding another bunch of magic users to help us with the shenanigans, and I don't know if I have the energy for that.
In the meantime,
thunder.
can we find some place to keep it safe?
Hide and
Secret?
seek.
Exactly.
Hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
And
Well-
we can use a trail of decoys for the hide and seek players if we have to.
Try and see if we can find a magical dampeners that can at least.
Well, Misha had suggested that maybe the Drachenfell Surveyors Guild was going to have something like that, because apparently they're not always on the up and up about all of the things that they bring into town, and some of them might have giant magical auras. Allegedly. I don't know any of this for sure. But
in all honesty, and Phoebe kind of pushes some of her hair behind her ear. Like, the Surveyors Guild may or may not have done my locks.
Well,
I love
that's good to hear, because I believe that we can trust Anel, and after meeting with her,
Thank you.
and because she's a fellow druid, and there are certain oaths that you take that are unbreakable, that you cannot lie about to another druid. I would have known. So it might be worth at least pursuing.
you guys get Druid married already? I thought you just had lunch.
No. Not
You
that
should
kind of oath.
absolutely pursue that.
No. The sacred oath of druidship. Never mind.
Right, Hollyberry
Years
matrimony.
ago,
I know.
Like, oh,
This is
you
a-
have
this-
a Phoebe. Just looks up, do you have a special someone?
This is a bad story.
Lovely. That's just wonderful.
Only this is in your romance section in the fantasy realm. It's not real life. But we do have a friend in the real life section. I would like to go talk to them.
Right?
But I'm not sure how safe it is for any of us to just walk out the door. We're going to be followed.
I mean,
Most
there is a
likely.
giant storm right now.
Wait,
And if they think we're in here,
question.
Well,
I mean, I would skip over. There's enough shadows, but like, are they gonna be happy to see me in the middle of the night?
Well,
Do you-
additionally, I could wild shape into an animal form. That would be
Are
fairly...
they gonna be happy to see you in the middle of the night?
They might not even notice an owl flying out the back window.
Is there a tunnel under the Fangs Respite, perhaps? Like the one that was under the main library? That Phoebe
So-
didn't know about?
I am going to roll on the 2d6 Oracle because I don't know if there is, and I think that's
you're not.
Huh? I'm
You're
not.
not.
I'm not. You are. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because I'm
Oh boy.
going to spend a fate point because this is cool.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Okay. All right. So you're spending a fate point. Please mark that off your character sheet.
Yes.
So every character has 3 fate points, and you are allowed to use a fate point to bring something into existence. Pretty much like this when inspiration strikes. So you are saying that there's an old tunnel underneath the Fang's Respite.
I would like
I-
to posit, in fact, that I would like to turn this into a lore moment. That there is a 60% chance that any establishment that was run by the scholars of Drachenfeld, whatever branch or flavor they might have been, that there is a series of tunnels underneath it. Like, it's just a thing.
It makes sense because if there was a dragon attack, you'd want to be underground, right?
And it's the best place to put, especially for libraries and archives. That way we can put all of the books underground.
If necessary. Right.
This is when Phoebe just like sheepishly stands up, like, I completely forgot about something because and she stands up and she motions everyone to follow her to the stairs that lead upstairs to the under of the stairs. And she does a knock on one of the boards, and a door cracks open, and there are more stairs that go down. And she kind of looks over. I kind of forgot that this place would have that because it was a tavern for the researchers. This will probably lead to the Surveyors Guild, actually.
So, are we all going?
I would like to further posit that there is a 50-50 chance that that tunnel is connected to a greater network of scholar tunnels under the city.
You would like to posit that as a 50-50 chance?
Because...
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, I'm going to use my fate. I'm just going to continue to milk this fate point. I'm going to use the fate point to invoke it here because that's nice and we need a break. But
now you're getting it.
we may have, in other Drachenfeld examples, established that the city is built over another city with, like, catacombs and ruins and stuff.
True.
Greystone Keep.
True. So, 1 second. So you're saying that these tunnels go down from here and will connect to a larger network of other scholarly tunnels?
At the very least, they will connect to another destination.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Very
absolutely.
few of them just go down and then back up.
Absolutely.
But there is a 50-50 chance that if you have a tunnel, it will connect to a greater, like, underground network of tunnely goodness that runs under the city.
Okay. Are you saying that this tunnel does connect to those?
Absolutely.
Hey, I rolled a 6, so that's under 50% in my book. It's a double hit, so sure. Sounds like that's a plan.
I mean, like, this is the first fate point I've used. I'm gonna...
No, it's fine. It's fine. They're big. They're big. They're big.
You're gonna stop me.
They're
like,
big moments.
I'm just gonna keep pushing it.
No, this is good. This is good right here. You've established.
I'm going to assume that this is a fairly well kept, like, scholar secret that we've just stumbled on in the last 24 hours, and Valen is like, man, I didn't know scholars were moles.
I feel like, because Drachenfeld, like, all of the factions, once you get high up enough, like, it seems like they're just so wrapped up in their own nonsense that they just forget about other stuff. So I feel like there's a couple of, like, Thieves Guild people who know, but they're like, whatever, they're scholar tunnels, they're boring. We like the hardcore rogues tunnels that are, like, full of, like, bones and skeletons and creepy things and, like, Halloween decorations, and they don't use the pansy scholars tunnel, they use the hardcore rogues tunnels.
Yeah.
Just to keep up their image.
Yeah.
I think that the scholars are very good at keeping this kind of under wrap. And while some people may know that they exist, they're actually a lot more intricate than people give them credit for, because they forget that scholar is a blanket term for a lot of different hobbies. And, like, there are scholars who research, like, old style, like, architecture and stuff, and then as a hobby learn masonry and making cement and have
secret
kind
tunnels.
of taken it upon themselves to fix them up in certain areas.
All right.
Because experimental archaeology is fun.
I love it. Perfect. Okay. With that right there, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. Let everybody take a quick break. We're going to keep going for sure. And my voice is holding out. I'm so happy about that. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Everybody who's watching, hang tight. Go get a drink of water, and we will be right back. Good use of fate points there, Aaron. That's beautifully done. Beautifully done. Well done. All right, we'll see y'all in 5 minutes, y'all. Cool. Oh, where's my be right back? I think I lost it. All right, anyway, we'll do this. Okay.
You can never leave.
Hello, we're back. Most of us are back. So, hello. There's Aaron. Perfect timing. Hello, we're back. We've discovered scholarly tunnels have been discovered. And you guys have just opened the door. Phoebe has just revealed that she remembered that they were there. And there's been some discussion. There's been some animated discussion during the break, which I'm very happy about. And proceed, my fair friends. What would you like to do next?
Are we all going?
It is storming. It is getting to be late. I imagine I will not make anyone roll, but I imagine there is some tiredness happening. But you may push forward if you wish.
This is an option for the morning.
Yes.
Might be better to go under the cover of darkness. Right, V?
I mean, it's
Don't feel comfortable leaving the rods under the floorboards.
Oh no, we're taking them with us.
To
wherever
go
we
meet with people who don't necessarily want to talk to us right now because it's nighttime.
I don't think we
and
should
it's
leave
late.
them.
so it sounds like we're gonna go back to the pillow fort and then fluff everything up in there so that it looks like we're sleeping in it while we're getting the rods out of there, and then we're gonna lower the rest of the lights in the library, and then we're gonna sneak out through the secret tunnel.
How long have we been talking? How long have we been here? What time is it?
It's been about an hour of you guys, maybe a little bit more than an hour of discussing, making tea, talking about all these things. The storm is receding. There's still rain. There's still rain, but the storm is over. Is receding.
Late
receding.
evening then.
10:30ish then.
Yes, that's where I was thinking too, about 10:30. Yeah, let's say 10:30.
And how long travel-wise are we from the Drachenfeld Carriers Guild?
If only someone would have made a map they were supposed to make.
How's your mental map going?
That's what I'm looking at right now. See, I'm looking up. It's not on my ceiling. It's in like the top of my skull. I gotta find it. You know what? Once again, to the Oracle. We'll just say I'm just going to ask it if it's far, and try not to waste too much time trying to figure this out.
It's about half the city, and I
Yeah.
don't remember. I think it's half the city due west.
Yeah, that would actually make some sense there. It's fun how we all share mental maps of this city that's never been drawn out. I'm kind of
Well, because it's
impressed.
the
We've kind of
scholar
done-
district.
So yeah, no, it's not that far.
The scholarly
Oh.
district is kind of the edge of the like the edge of Wraithtown. Like it's on the edge of Wraithtown, and then you get into the rich guys stuff
Yeah.
on the other side of Wraithtown. So that's
Right.
that half of the city.
Right. It wouldn't be too far, but you're not really sure where you're going in these tunnels, and Phoebe would know these tunnels, or anybody that's familiar with, probably just Phoebe. They do wander a bit,
Mm-hmm. They're not a straight shot.
and just
they're
because
not exactly like the roads that are built on top. It's the old roads.
right. So when you go, if you don't know exactly where you're going, you're going to have to figure out which direction and try to keep angling that direction. Because nobody here currently in character know that these tunnels connect to the Surveyors Guild. So you'll have to find your way through them. Dun dun dun. So it could take a while.
Why don't we just
Well, as
hire
long
a
as we
courier
can-
in the morning?
Or we could nap, and
I would
then
like a nap.
very
I've been up
subtly
wide.
go out for supplies, and then I don't know, maybe explore down there a little bit, and see if we can find our way to the Drachenfeld Surveyors Guild, because Lyra's gonna have a really hard time coming to find us if we can't be found. Like, if we're not in the places she's looking.
No. Block party.
Yeah, we'd have to put the block party on hold for that one, but
Hide and seek.
yeah. Yeah. I think the block party idea is a good one, but I think it needs a little bit more planning than we currently have
Maybe a little
time
more
for.
setup time. Yeah.
I'd like a few more resources before we try to pull off something of that scale.
Sounds good.
Hide and seek.
Hide and seek after a nap. What do we think?
Hide and seek after a nap it is.
Okay, hide and seek, hide and seek. But first, nap time. Everybody's just going to crash out, grab a couple hours. What's just time wise?
Lumi will take a quick, we'll just set herself up to take like a watch, kind of.
Okay.
'Cause she usually, since she's used to traveling by herself, she takes like extended naps and then we'll extend it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So she's kind of set her up to
Okay.
do that. But just for the first couple hours, like then she's gonna sleep. So if anybody else wants to watch, they're more than welcome to. But she's volunteering for first.
Phoebe offers to take second watch because it's in her mind. These three have been through so much more than her in the last 24 hours, so they need more sleep.
Aw.
Nice.
Valen is going to sleep across the compartment, as previously stated. And Valen is a very light sleeper, so
Indeed.
sleeps with a dagger in his
Indeed. Okay. So, Katie, you being the person that's sort of kind of in your Kenku way, kind of like waking up, cranking one eye open, looking around, then like drifting back off, and just sort of keeping watch. The storm does move on. You hear it move off into the distance. You hear the rain on the roof. You hear some wind, not a whole lot. And even that dies down to just very light taps around the building. Otherwise, the building is very quiet, and the city street outside appears to also be very quiet as it goes into the later hours of the night. You don't really... It's just quiet. It's a peaceful, quiet, rainy night. And then you guys can wake up. If you guys are waking up in the middle of the night or sometime in the middle of the night, that's cool. You guys can wake up. Wake yourselves up, figure out how you want to get together, and you're awake. No problems. Nothing's happened. It's been a quiet, somewhat peaceful evening. Not a great rest because it's only a couple hours, but,
Do we want to sleep for since it was 10, do we want to sleep until 4 or 5 in the morning where it's like a 6 to 7 hour, so it's almost like a full rest and still be up well before the sun's up?
Yeah, honestly, I think sleeping until the markets open and things, so we can go get a couple of supplies and provisions for what could potentially be a dungeon crawl might not be
Great.
a terrible plan.
Like a full sleep, but we are rising with the sun.
okay.
Early.
Nothing changes in that case, but you guys do get up a little bit before dawn, kind of get settled and organized, and the morning comes with no issues. It's pretty quiet.
Phoebe does run upstairs and change into a shorter dress with pants underneath so that she's more rough and ready.
Nice.
That's
Nice. Okay.
Adventuring gear.
Nice. Anybody else? Everybody's getting up, getting ready. What are your plans? Are you going to leave the Fang's Respite as soon as you guys all get together? And where are you going? What would you like to
Get
do?
supplies for a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, there's a couple shops nearby. You guys know well enough that you could probably make a few trips. You know
So
where you can
We're
go
walking. I would like to be listening for humming
for humming. Okay, noted.
as we are just collecting. Not like hyper focused, just being aware.
Sure.
Are we all going out, or just some of us? Are we leaving the scroll rods here? Because if we do, I don't think we should leave them
at the
unprotected.
Bag's Respite.
I was gonna say I
Because
can
I'll
have
need to
Alan
do-
stay behind.
I think it makes more sense. And I think they will be expecting us to go out in smaller groups. I think playing to their expectations right now is probably smart. Like I wouldn't necessarily go out alone, because then you can get jumped. But if most of us stay where the scroll is, I think that's what they'll be expecting.
I will probably stay at the library just so that I can at least get like a morning shift, and then I'll put a sign in the door that says closed for restorations, renovations.
Okay. So Phoebe's staying behind. Who else is staying behind?
Well, I can do either. I can either stay behind and guard the scroll rods, or go out and guard the people. Is there a preference?
Does not matter to Katie.
I,
Lumi's just gonna wait to see how it divides, and we'll try to make it even.
Phoebe would love your company if you wanted.
Yeah,
I guess I'll hang out then.
I was saying Mira was going to stay behind. Because Mira's not exactly the most nimble out and about.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So Lumi and Misha will be going out.
You're gonna go shopping? Yay!
Oh.
Shopping episode.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Can I write? The game master said, "Wow."
Wow.
In a very scary tone. Is that?
Was
do
that
I add that to
scary?
my
I
book
didn't.
of words.
I didn't mean
Yes.
I didn't mean for that to be scary. My apologies.
I mean, after his freezing, you can wake up. Like, everything he says after this point is suspect.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Guys, we're still asleep over those rods.
Yeah, right. You're all
Still on the
dream.
shopping
This is all a
trip,
dream.
but
You're gonna.
dream!
It's a shopping trip dream.
Councilman Nout is actually a mind flayer.
Don't give him ideas.
What
No, it's a flump.
have you been reading my notes? Wow. I thought did I give you guys access to these? Okay.
Oh, come on.
you.
If you're going to gentrify a neighborhood, you have to be, like,
What better?
consuming souls somehow.
It's either a mind flayer or a beholder, right? Okay.
Why not
I
both?
have mine.
He's two-thirds
I've
beholder on his mother's side.
So for the home game folks that may be watching, Rakshasha. It's a Rakshasha. Councilman Nat is a Rakshasha. And you have to do this because their hands are backwards. Rakshasha. Okay. All right. So Lumi and Misha head out about dawn just before. Yes, Tamlin. Head out a little bit after dawn. Is that what I'm hearing? To go get
Yes.
supplies for crawling around in tunnels. Right? Solid?
Yes. Looking for like torches and ropes and just like basically any like
Okay.
traveling stuff that doesn't. I mean, it's all gonna look like just adventuring party stuff, you know. At least what Lumi's picking out at market. She's not trying to pick something out like we're definitely going into a crypt later.
Right.
And I'm thinking like bread, meat, cheese, vegetables, things that we can eat, crackers or something like that.
Turkey.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So
Right.
going and getting supplies are going to be pretty straightforward. You know where to go. You know the town well enough to get
Healing
those
potions.
sort of basic
Maybe.
supplies. Healing potions
Cupcakes.
might be a little You might have to track those down or go to a particular shop.
Phoebe
Cupcakes.
asks you to pick up her favorite dried kale chips. She is a deer.
Nice. Okay.
I'll look for them.
Thank you.
And that's the story of how we invented medieval Trader Joe's.
That's right.
Merchant Joseph's.
Merchant Joseph's.
Oh, wow.
That's going on the list with McDougal's.
I'm making a couple rolls here real quick to figure some things out.
As they're back.
I love it, you guys. Go ahead.
Phoebe is just... Phoebe is kind of going through her morning routine of just, like, checking if there are books that need to be put away, dusting a little bit, and, like, in the seating area that's towards the front, you can just imagine Misha and Valen just waiting, and she just, like, runs over to a couple of the different shelves, and she pulls a book, and then she hands it to each of them. She's like, I think you'll find these interesting, and then goes back. For Misha, she grabs a big book of baking recipes, just a book of recipes for her to flip through, because in her mind she's like, this will give her something that she understands, that is mathematic, that she can look at and she can organize her thoughts. And for Valen, she brings a very spooky thriller kind of like novella and hands that over to her so that she can have a very kind of fun, so that they can have a fun time reading something a little like a little fun, a little spooky, and then she goes back to work. Because that's
Lovely.
the vibe that she gets.
So, you do get, while they're gone, you that morning, especially early on, before you put the close for renovation sign up, you don't really get any traffic that early, but you do get a couple of locals who come and drop off some books. But then they don't stay too long. They just sort of drop things off as part of their errands. And they promise they'll be back, that sort of thing. They're very busy, but it's not, you're not inundated with customers. It's a fairly slow morning.
I let them know we're going to be kind of closing a little bit because we're going to need to be doing some renovations maybe for the rest of the day and possibly tomorrow. And she just she cites the storm. She's like, oh, the storm was a bit rough, so we want to take some time to fix that up a little bit.
They note that and say that they'll just come back tomorrow after if the renovations are going to be too long. Well, they'll come back when the renovations are over. That's fine. Yeah, They're understanding.
Yeah, and I thank them and wish them a great day, and I check the books back in and go process.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lumi and Misha head out. You are able to go out to a couple places to get your basic supplies. Lumi, I am going to have you give me a wits roll. Just roll 2d6, add your wits. Tell me what you get. The day is fairly calm. There's that fresh air feeling after rain. It is kind of cloudy and overcast. The front is still around, but the storms, of course, moved on. It is not raining. It is a little chilly because it's still kind of early spring. The streets aren't too crowded, though there are some intrepid folks like yourselves going out to get errands done, to drop off library books, that sort of thing. What'd you get, Katie?
11.
Nice. Okay. As you are going about your business, if that's all you guys were going to do is just go to the shop, it's nothing out of the ordinary, unless you guys are going to do something special, then let me know. But if you're just going to go to the shop, buy some stuff, come back, then we're cool. So, in between stores, that's the other question. Were you guys actually going to get, I cannot pay attention to chat. You guys are killing me. Were you guys going to get healing potions? Were you actually going to do that or try to do that that's a little bit different, a little bit more of an esoteric item. Because I think we determined very early in season 2, Dr. Hip and I were playing, and I think we said healing potions are kind of uncommon to rare. They are not prevalent.
We'll leave it to Misha.
I'm sure that I don't have
You could find a place, but they might be
money
expensive.
Right. I don't have
Right.
I couldn't afford one.
Right. Okay.
She's a
So
poor
it was
druid.
that was my suggestion, and I didn't realize that was a thing that was so rare. So
That's cool.
the suggestion would be like first aid kits, basic dungeoneering supplies. Like
Okay.
if somebody gets an infected hangnail in the ruins, like we're not going to want that to turn into a full blown infection. Like we just want
Here's some whiskey mash poured on there. It'll fix it.
here's some moss grubs
Yeah.
and
Moss grubs.
take
I like
this
that.
to this spoonful of I don't know ooze goop and call me in the morning.
I'm officially calling it moss grub juice. It is a particular stuff that you can put on a wound to keep it from getting infected. Made from moss grubs, which are they're kind of thick and juicy, yellowish colored. Yeah, okay, so it's a pretty good shopping trip. You guys are moving around from shop to shop. It's early morning. There's not a whole lot of folks doing this, so not a problem. Lumi, you notice, at first, you're like, oh, that's an interesting blackbird. Because I think you would probably pay attention to birds in the area. And you notice a blackbird fly near you guys. No big deal. And then as you leave the second store, you see the blackbird sitting on the gutter, and you recognize immediately that it is checking you out. Because you know how birds act when they are looking at something. You can recognize those same details. And it sees you look at it, and it flies away.
Playing hard to get, huh?
Yeah. And then and then you move along a little further, and when you're in a store, you look over, and the blackbird is on the lip of the window looking in at you guys as you're shopping. And then you don't see it again. But it seems like it's the same blackbird, and it stood out to you.
So I've heard Misha talk about how they have offered up transforming a couple times. And will, after the first couple of sightings where it's like, oh, this is like following us.
Yeah.
Will kind of stand in front of Misha. Misha's like a normal height, right?
Yeah.
Misha's not like
I've got Misha at 5'8".
Amazing. So, Lumi will walk, turn to face Misha, trying to get the bird over her shoulder, and then we'll go. And awkwardly point as she's adjusting feathers behind her and look up at Misha and say,
Oh, you're cutting out.
did you get Druid married?
No, you've been listening to Mira's stories again.
No. And she points back again. Not to an owl.
Can I make sense of what she's saying?
Give me a wits roll. Add +1.
I'm rolling my percentage dice. Whoops.
No, don't do that. That's a whole different game engine. Is that with the +1?
Yes.
8? Okay. Yeah, you can.
I would like to add also in Vermidian's voice, you're being watched.
Nicely done. Okay. So yeah, you can you can figure out what's happening. Sure. I absolutely.
If I was just guessing that if a druid shapeshifts into an animal form,
Yeah.
another druid could tell if it weren't the actual animal, but I'm not 100% certain on that. It just makes sense.
Probably.
I would say yes. It might take an investigate roll or like just a wits roll.
Right. I would like to see if I can determine if this is just
You look with your druid eyes.
exactly. I'll give it that cold stare.
Special druid eyes. Lumi will start to like get real into whatever the shop she's into to try and distract the bird from whatever Misha's about to do with her special eyes.
Okay. The blackbird tracks Lumi, and you stare. You get a good long look at it. Misha, it is not a druid in shapeshift. It is a blackbird. There's no telltale. I don't know. I kind of just get this sense that
Like
you
an
can,
aura.
like an aura or a knowing, if you focus on it. It's not. It's not a. It's a blackbird.
Did you get druid married? She says a little under her breath as she's digging through stuff.
No, that's a long way down the road.
Did you get druid?
Yes, I'm not completely sure I understand, but yes, I am a druid.
The blackbird flies away.
She casts it with her eyes. Goes, did you get druid?
Yes, totally druid. I think it's time we should get back soon.
She thinks that's a druid that's following us.
No.
Is what she's asking. So what you are saying to her is it's a druid. So let me rephrase. Did you get
Oh, I
druid?
see.
Yes?
No. Normal bird.
Normal bird. Normal bird. You are being watched. Normal bird.
Yes. Normal bird somebody might have sent it to watch us, but it's not an actual shape-shifted druid.
This artifact
make
is a pain.
Boy, howdy. Yes.
You guys wrap
Anything
up.
else? Yeah, let's head back.
As long as we have all our supplies.
So
Music.
Supplies.
so you were able to get pretty much all the items. Enough. How much did you buy for? Did you buy for a day? Did you buy for a couple days per person?
2 days.
2 days per person.
Yes.
So that's probably 2 sizable sacks, decently, maybe one good sack. Coinage wise, it put a little bit of a dent in somebody's pocket.
Judging by what Misha said earlier, I think Lumi has more money.
Okay, is
I
Lumi
think Lumi-
is Lumi throwing in on this then? This crazy escapade. Okay. So you guys can get it together and leave the store and head back. Walking back, streets are starting to get a little bit more busy. It is still staying overcast, and there's still kind of a light breeze. I'm not going to make you roll. Both of you do notice that blackbird again, at least 2 more times. If you've ever, this is odd, but if you've ever been followed by a mockingbird or a bird that just sort of like is interested in you, whether it's protecting its nest or whatever, it's acting like that. Like you walk a little bit, and then you see it kind of fly off to the left and then land on a gutter up ahead of you. And then as you fly closer or get closer, it like flies across the street and down an alley, and then you'll see it again. You see it at least 2 or 3 more times, but it's always keeping a pretty far distance away.
Lumi's
gonna
gonna
try-
take. Oh, sorry. You
Go
first.
ahead. No, I was just going to call at it.
Yeah. I was gonna bring out food for it. So yeah.
Okay,
like
okay,
we're both getting its attention.
I'm going to try and see if I can get it to call back to me. Repeat what I say. If it is...
So what are you going to do? You going to whistle or like do a bird whistle or? Okay. All right. And then you're getting food out of the bag.
Out of just my own personal.
Okay, cool.
Like a dried piece of apple or something, and I'll take half of a bite and wait and see if it gets closer.
See if it likes kale chips.
Right?
Misha finishes calling to it.
The heel of the loaf of bread. Nobody likes the heel.
It looks at you, turns one eye and like looks at you, and then hops and then flies off. And flies and turns around an alleyway. And does not come back for several seconds.
It does come back.
It does not come back.
After Misha called to it, right?
Correct. Okay.
That's curious.
Are there any other birds of that type in this area?
No. You have seen pigeons. You have seen an occasional, like a lot of sparrows. That, actually, come to think of it, no, you've not seen a blackbird in town at all. Like, pretty rare. Like,
And when we get...
Misha would know that you've not. Blackbirds they're uncommon in the city.
When we get like a block, like a couple buildings, wherever it's like scattered enough, where it's like you could go either way around to get to the Fang's Respite. Lumi's going to look up at Misha and point to kind of the two directions where if you lean either way, you can see the edge of building that we're headed to. Hide and seek. Excuse me. Hide and seek. The Fang's Respite. And then she will point at you and point one direction and point to herself and point another direction. For the last, like, wrap around a building. A normal bird. You're being watched. You're being watched. You're being watched.
I'll just nod yes and go left.
Great. She'll go right, and she's going to take an instrument and start playing and just walk, just like beelining straight to the Fang's Respite.
Okay. And so Misha's carrying the bag of stuff. Right? Okay.
Unless it's 2 bags. If we need to divide and conquer, that's fine. She can hang it up her stuff.
Okay.
She has a backpack.
Okay. So you beeline it, Lumi. You beeline it for the Dragon's Respite. When you get there, you're just going to go in?
Yeah, she's going to, like, once she gets close enough where she feels super safe, she's going to, like, take her time and, like, finish the song.
Oh, okay.
Walk
okay.
in.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, she wants to like not be too far away from Misha for too long, but divided just enough to see if the bird comes back for one of them.
Got you. So
not both of them.
Okay. So as you're sitting there, one of the people who are returning the books comes out and goes, "Oh, that's beautiful," and drops some coppers at your feet, and it goes on.
Thank you.
Misha, what are you doing? You're gonna take a lap, or?
Yeah, just there's a short ways down and then right back up to the Fang's Respite. Just
You taking a slight detour at the corner where you turn back to the Fang's Respite. You see the blackbird again, and it is higher up on the peak of a building. It is no longer down closer to you, but you catch it. You catch it up at the peak of a building.
Who's it watching?
It is, and it's Misha. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not anywhere near Katie or near Lumi. And then you turn to head back down to the Dragon's Respite. Yeah, Fang's Respite. Sorry, my bad.
I'll just say, good morning there, birdie friend.
Okay,
Keep going.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay. So he comes back. He comes back to the Dragon's Respite, and after doing his little block lap, you do not see the blackbird again. You turn around and look, and it's off the peak, and you don't see it. You are back to the Dragon's Respite. Lumi is playing out front. All right.
Normal bird.
Yes. I guess I'll take this stuff back to the kitchen area, wherever we're staging out of sight or something like that.
We'll go inside.
Okay.
The coppers.
Okay. Okay. What would you all like to do? They have returned. Oh, you're muted, Courtney.
You're muted.
Oh, hello. As soon as they've returned, I will take the sign that I have made, double check that no one is in the library, and then put it up.
Okay.
Oh,
Done.
Normal bird. You are being watched. Yes?
As Lumi has good eyes. Once everybody's around, I'll tell them about what happened. Lumi saw this blackbird, and it was definitely following us. Me in particular, because we split ways, and it followed me instead of her.
Is there a reason Blackbird would follow you?
Did you get Druid married? No.
Oh, it's not the druid friend. Okay.
No, it wasn't a druid. I can tell when a animal is really a druid.
Valen is using their dagger to like shave in like one of the side bathrooms because they've got some peach fuzz growing in because they haven't shaved in like 2 days. And they're like, was it a ranger familiar or something?
Well, blackbirds are pretty unusual, so it was definitely it was somebody's, but I don't know exactly who.
Valen doesn't know like any
Somebody said it.
people in the Thieves Guild that would use birds, right?
There would I can't think of.
Probably connected to Lyra from last night, but that's just my guess.
Well, I mean, you were the last person to carry them, so
Exactly.
what makes all this sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
We got quite a few goodies here.
goodies.
Enough for a couple.
Lumi
Couple
passes
days.
the kale chips that I
Yes.
hope we found.
Thanks.
You can live for days now. Anything else you guys plan to do, or you're going to hole up in here, get prepped, and hit the tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the plan?
We're planning to take the rods with us, yes?
Yes.
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 So when we're ready to go, we'll wrap them back up and put them in Misha's quiver. The same way we did before.
Lumi will also offer and lay one of her instrument cases next to the quiver and the scroll to see if it is equivalent sizing.
I would think It would probably fit maybe in one of your cases. I mean, how many? What the case?
I have
for?
like a loot, and then
Yeah, it would
the
probably.
harp wouldn't have a case because that's just like attached to my hip, little baby guy.
Yeah, it would probably
It's like a
fit.
loot.
I think it would fit in a loot case. I think it would. Might be tight, but it would. Yeah, yeah. If you guys want to do that.
She just offers it up. She's not like taking it just as a option.
Okay.
She doesn't want to touch their things.
Phoebe's gonna ensure that she has her compass, some of the notes she has about the tunnels. It's not a lot, but it's some of them, including like some marks that people leave on occasion. That like safe, renovated.
Oh, nice.
restored.
Okay. Very good.
So that she
I like
knows
it.
like if certain areas are safe for them to go through, so that they're not like going through and like accidentally like going through like and busting their asses on something, or
Right.
this has been checked for traps. This
Like
has not.
a little
I
picture.
have a trap skill, by the way.
You do. You do. A
So
little.
while everybody is out doing their morning errands and stuff, Mira will have spent the day sketching out the photo memory that she used magic to preserve in her brain of the wall of marks.
Yes.
And she's gonna use that time to go through the library and talk to Phoebe and find out if any of those are like directional marks or notes of safety, or if there's any sort of like code words or warnings or anything in what she remembers, which was everything on that wall, by the way, that will be relevant and useful in their gatherings, in their adventures.
Genius. And
Um,
Phoebe will go through and she'll kind of remember that area, because I imagine Phoebe, I feel like a rite of passage in some ways is to put your name on the wall.
yeah.
Knew I
So
did
she's
that
like,
for a
oh, you
reason.
probably saw my name.
I'll be like, yeah, actually.
So what?
Right there.
I think how we're gonna do that, because I really like that. That's amazing.
I almost totally forgot I did it too.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
It makes sense. So, like, scholars wouldn't withhold information.
Right, and Mira's not quite a scholar, but one of her magic skills, like, her two schools are communication and mind. And so, like, that gives her a little bit of, like, psychology, and she knows that scholars like to write shit down to, like, a pathological level. Like, communication. So, like, it's a different intersection of those two things than a scholar would usually have, but, I mean, it's there enough, I think, that that it lends itself to a fairly similar result, even if the thought process is radically different.
Phoebe will also put in her pack 2 of the old journals that have been left, like, as stated, the library was previously a tavern and people would leave books. People also accidentally left journals, or people died and left journals because they were perusing up in the mountains and never came back.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
So she picked 2 of the journals that specifically pertained to researchers of ancient dragon cults as a whole. And she has those in the pack to read through and look over and see if there is anything that isn't anything that she already knows, or if, she's going to look through them and just be like, is there anything here that could possibly be useful, or are they just rehashing the same dribble?
So what I want to do is I want to have, that's perfect. I love all of that. That's great prep for what you guys are going to go do. So Phoebe, I want Phoebe to roll a know something, make a know something roll. So you're going to roll wits, and I'm just going to give you an automatic +1 from Aaron's previous move to remember that information, as well as what you just said about the journals. So just add a +1 to your wits roll.
7 + 1 + 2 is 10.
10, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change things a little bit just because for this situation, but I'm going to give you 2 forwards or like forward moves, which means at a time in the tunnels, at 2 different times, you can use these to find your way or to find a marking that will help you move forward if you're lost. So you basically have 2 navigational aids that you can play if you need it. Cool? That's the mechanic we'll use for that. Okay, cool. Awesome. Anything else? All right, so you gather at the doorway to the scholarly tunnels that lead down.
Stuff up.
To what? Yeah, you
Divide all the stuff up
divide
so they
it all
can have
up.
their own things.
Everybody has your own rations,
Scholarly tunnels.
and you have rations for 1 day or 2 days. 2 days. I didn't write it down, so of course I couldn't remember it. For 2 days. Okay. I mean, the city's not that big, is it? Okay, so you gather your things up and are about to head into the tunnels, right? And we're going to stop there because this is a whole other episode we're going to do later.
Enjoy it.
But we made it to Comwin the 13th.
You made it to Comwin the 13th. You did a whole day. It took 2 episodes, but we did a day. Comwin the 13th has arrived.
And I heard no humming on the shopping.
You did. You heard no humming on the shopping.
Perfect. Good.
But what if you hear humming down in the tunnels?
That is scary.
Of course.
If we are in a perfectly pitch dark underground tunnel and we start hearing humming, that is Valen's job.
Can you imagine Lyra? Like, how many days until Lyra like straight up fires that guy for being so sick of this song? And he keeps humming by
Oh,
accident?
right. That's true. Like, just stabs him and like leaves him somewhere. Would you shut up?
Make her to realize that it's magic.
Right. Yeah, that's the other part. Maybe. Yeah. All right.
But I just imagine Phoebe like a hum in a pitch dark hallway. Phoebe would just be like, I read this in a book once and it didn't end well.
Just a thought. Before we go in this tunnel where no one knows where we've gone, should we let someone know where we're going?
Huh?
Like Master Ornus, maybe?
I think we should let the doc know, because he was gonna send us. He was gonna hook us up with his people for potentially selling it, and we should let the DSG know.
All right.
That we're coming?
Yeah, like if they don't hear from us in a day, they should probably go looking for the relic at the very least.
Yeah. Phoebe's also gonna bring chalk with her.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Clever.
Good dungeoneering.
Yeah,
Nice,
dungeoneering.
very
Nicely done.
dirty.
Question is, sorry. Question is, how do you let these people know? How do you want to do that? Send a courier? Do you?
Courier would be easiest.
Ooh, Phoebe grabs one of the books that is about the previous civilization of Drakenfalls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Drakenfell.
With a note. With a note attached that says, for your underground research, please return tomorrow. Or please return in 2 days.
Okay.
And then she she packs it up, she puts it in a
Lumi will
her
stick
bag
one
and
of her
ties
feathers in it.
and she puts a seal on it.
And
She
Lumi's
puts her seal on it.
gonna stick a feather in there too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that he knows that you're not alone.
Nice.
Yeah. Puts a seal on it, and then she weighs down a courier.
Okay.
She opens the door, weighs down a courier.
Isn't there like plant language? Can't we like a forget-me-not or something? Like send a secret druid message or something?
There's
As-
a druid language, yes.
Is this going
You'd have
to?
be a
Is this?
druid to know it.
Is the book going to Kilo or to Anel?
Yes.
It's going to Kilo. Okay.
The book is going
And
to Kilo because Kilo will understand
Right.
what this means. It means that we are in the tunnels. Look for us in a couple of days.
Yeah.
This is a scholar thing. Like,
Yeah,
if someone's
sure.
going down to the tunnels, you
Beautiful.
send information to someone. Because I think there are many a scholar who have gone down into the tunnels and have gotten lost.
They never came back.
They never came back. So a system has been reached that we send a book about the old civilization to someone and say, hey, look for me in 2 days.
I love it. Okay. You can find a courier pretty easily. Give me a wits roll. Because I'm like this.
Oh no, that's a 4.
Okay, cool. Take a experience point, and you give you can wave down a courier. You can hand it off. They're like, yeah, sure. The library, okay. And a few coins are exchanged, and they run off. It's easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. For Anel, how are you doing it?
I'm going to write a note in Druid's script, kind of like Ogham or something.
Yeah.
Like a different... and just basically simply say that we are bringing an artifact through the Scholar Tunnels from the Fang's Respite to the DSG, hoping for warm welcome in less than by dawn on on Palmwind 14th or something like that.
Okay. And then handing it to a courier, or
yes, sealing it with my yeah, and flagging one down. Yeah,
you can do that as well. Only because I'm not going to have you roll. But you notice a blackbird hanging out on the corner of a building, watching you talk to the courier. Looks like the same blackbird. And then it sees you looking at it, and it flies away and goes up to another rooftop. And then drops down behind the rooftop.
that note's going to get intercepted.
Does Misha say anything to us about that?
Yeah, I will. I'll say it. There's that blackbird again. I got a bad feeling that note's going to get intercepted.
Would they be able to read it?
No, not necessarily, unless they have a druid in their midst. But it could be translated like any other language.
True.
I think I'd like to have Valen flag down a courier and just send a quick note to Brox that just says, making a bad decision, see you later.
Thank you. I was wondering if you guys... Yeah, okay. All right.
If that gets intercepted, like, what are they going to do?
Wait, like what? Brox is like, oh, great. Okay. You can do that. Easy enough. All of this library is like really busy. Couriers are just like, oh man, I'm going to hang out at the library more often. It's usually pretty boring over there, but oh my gosh, this morning was really crazy. Yeah, you can do that. It takes a while to probably do all that, but you guys can get 3 couriers to send different directions. So Brox is okay. All right. Anything else?
Can I? This is a weird ask. Can I see that coming?
On.
When
Go on.
Before the bird, after we figure out that it's following Misha specifically, and when everyone's dividing up the stuff, Lumi plays her lute and is humming along with it, and can I use magic through this performance? I have 2 styles of magic. It's sound and protection. I'd like to do both. I would like for there to be, for this tune that she's playing, to lightly sound like a tinkle of bells in the back of Misha's mind when the bird is close.
Oh, wow. Yes, of course you can try to do that.
It is definitely a try to do that, because I don't know if that's a thing.
So, see, you could just do that. You don't need to do I saw it coming. You could just say that's what you're doing. Because I see it coming as more of putting yourself in a particular location to circumvent something. Or to block someone. Or to like...
Okay. Yeah, this would just be...
And suddenly I'm there and I catch the thing that they threw.
Yeah, okay.
This is just a use magic that you can just say you have done.
I would like to attempt to do that.
Cool.
So that Misha has a little bit of a, even like a little like a spidey sense, you know, like a spidey sense. There's a bird watching me.
There is a particular bird watching you.
Yes, a specific bird, not like any bird. Although this could go horribly awry, and every bird that comes by
That
is causing this tingling.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it. You know.
Does that include Kenku though?
Oh
I
God.
specifically try to do. I'm trying to do this specific blackbird, but who knows?
Okay, so you will use magic as roll mystic. You've told us what the effects are supposed to be, so we're good here.
It's not something crazy. Like it shouldn't. It should just make like a light sound. Like it's not like debilitating or anything.
Gongs going off in her head.
Yeah, no, it's just like.
Bill, let's see what you roll. You never know.
it's gonna be something. I'm so sorry, Misha, that Lumi did not ask. It just is kind of. I feel like her magic is very unintentional. I don't think she knows that she has magic. It just kind of like happens. So she is like thinking of, man, I wish I could help Misha with this like weird bird that's following her, and like it's this.
Yeah,
You know what's going to happen? What's going to be heard in the back of my head is going to be like, "Caw-caw." Definitely. Oh my God.
It's Mystic.
Yes.
10. I will never level up.
Oh, okay.
You and Mira.
You and Mira.
Thank you for
Welcome
not
to the
leveling
Level
up
1
right
Forever
now.
Club.
Yeah.
It's the best worst club to be in.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad club in this game system. Yeah. Okay. So that's the spell is successful with no limitations. So you are pretty sure that worked, and so you told the timing on that while everything was being divided and everybody was doing their courier thing. And so yeah, Misha, we'll just end on this as you are giving your sending off your message to. No, well, let me back up. Did you tell Misha you're doing this?
Oh no, I
Perfect. Okay.
I plan all of like Lumi. I don't think realizes she has magic.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay,
So
you're
it
just
kinda,
thinking
like,
about
comes
that
to her organically, and it like
I love it.
manifests of her thoughts and her
Okay.
and her like big heart. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why her stuff is sounded.
So in a way, I can see why you wanted to do. I saw that coming because okay. This is cool.
Yeah, so she doesn't,
That works. We'll
she
use
doesn't
that.
know it's happening.
Well, you didn't
She
know.
thinks she's wildly lucky.
So this plays into then when you're giving the courier the message and you walk out, Misha, you hear like the sound of like wind chimes in the back of your head, like really faint, a little high pitched wind chimes. Ding ding dong 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 ding 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 dong in the back of your head, and then you're like, what in? And then you look around.
Looking around.
And then that's when you happen to see the blackbird looking at you. And then it sees you and it flies away. And then the chimes stop.
What just happened?
And I'll see you next game, everybody.
I can see that. I can hear this bird in my head. Oh,
You've
My.
been smoking too many druid weeds, buddy.
no, but I need you.
Can't wait for next one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thanks, everybody. Fantastic game. Just in time because my voice is starting to go out.
And thanks everybody who joined us.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us in this crazy romp. We will play again on June 7th. So catch us then. At some point, I don't know if we'll ever go weekly, but for now, you'll see us on June 7th. And please check us out on our Discord. The link is down below here on Twitch. That Discord link should get you to our Discord where you can chat with all of us. We have a whole bunch of different channels, a whole bunch of different things going on. You can talk about the game, talk about other stuff. We have pretty good discussion sometimes about role-playing games and what everybody's doing with their day and just things like that. So you're more than welcome to join us. If that link doesn't work or you have problems, feel free to email us at naturalgeekery@gmail.com and we'll get you the link. No problem. Or track me down on Twitter or Instagram. So, anything real quick before we say goodbye?
Or our YouTube channel or Patreon.
Yes, thank you.
Natural Geekery.
What would I do without this? This
Have
wonderful,
a significantly less interesting game.
This this is so true.
And never plug your own stuff.
I've never plugged my own stuff, right? Like our stuff. So thank you. Yes, our Patreon. Check us out. We have a couple tiers there. The 2d6 Oracle is up for Patreons there. They get that for free. You can too if you join at the basic level. And then we also have the playtesting for this game that we did several months ago is coming up in podcast form there. Just little things coming up that will be through the Patreon first. Please check us out there. And our YouTube channel where you can see all of our past episodes in their entirety and all their glorious goodness will be up. This one will be up hopefully by tomorrow or Friday for people to see. And you can watch it here on Twitch for a week, I think. So there you go. Anything else I'm forgetting? My wonderful cast of amazing players and people. No?
Nothing comes to mind.
What?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. All right.
Be good.
Be good, everybody. Keep shining. We will see you next time on the Bake Shop Irregulars. Bye.
Be good. Love each other. Protect trans kids.
Yeah. Perfect.